Hello everyone and welcome to The No Show. I'll be your host Nathan Orenstein, and today I'm going to be reviewing Dune Part 2. Dune Part 2 is written by Denis Villeneuve and John Spaihts, directed by Denis Villeneuve, and stars Timothee Chalamet, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, Josh Brolin, Austin Butler, Florence Pugh, Dave Bautista, Christopher Walken, Stellan Skarsgard, and Javier Bardem. Dune Part 2 picks up right where the first film left off, with Paul Atreides and Lady Jessica joining Stilgar, Chani, and the rest of the Fremen following House Harkonnen's attack on House Atreides. It is the sequel to 2021's Dune, also by Denis Villeneuve, and is based on the novel of the same name by Frank Herbert. Dune Part 2 is the incredibly rare sequel that manages to improve on pretty much every aspect of the original film, and to do it on the scale that it does it on is unheard of. Probably only comparable to The Empire Strikes Back in comparison to the original Star Wars. The original 2021 Dune is nothing to scoff at either. I do personally have some issues with how it tells its story, and even more issues with how it's paced, but there is no denying that it is a sci-fi epic with a grandiosity that is rarely captured on screen. Well, like I said, Dune Part 2 not only improves on every aspect of the original film, but I don't really have any gripes with it at all. It is a science fiction epic masterpiece and is right up there with some of the greatest of all time. In my opinion, the biggest improvement that Dune Part 2 shows is in its writing. The first film was largely plot-focused, with the necessary world and character building required to basically set the stage for what's to come in this one. It's an essential film, no doubt, but one that lacks the depth to truly leave a lasting impression outside of some major moments in its obvious visual and auditory spectacle. Dune Part 2 doesn't carry the burden of setting up the world and characters, and instead has the freedom to dive headfirst not just into the world and characters, but into the politics, religion, morality, and power dynamics as well. Every plot point here typically has at least a couple of levels to it, most often regarding Paul's power, perception, and relationships with those surrounding him. It's not the most profound film in the world, but it consistently makes you question the motivations and morals of its characters, and how these influence their actions for not only themselves, but the groups they ally themselves with as well. And by better filling the space in between major plot points with these engaging things to think about, the pacing never feels like an issue across the nearly 3-hour runtime. Let's get back to the characters though. It doesn't really matter how well a character is written if the performance isn't supporting it at all. And luckily, Dune Part 2's all-star cast delivers in all the ways an all-star cast should. There are a lot of fantastic performances here, but I'm not going to go into each and every one of them, especially because a lot of these are being carried over from that first film. But I do have to call out Austin Butler's performance as Feyd Rautha here, who makes his first appearance in this film. This version of Feyd Rautha is legitimately terrifying and psychotic, and any comparison being made to Heath Ledger's Joker from The Dark Knight really isn't that far off. Butler is in complete control of every scene he's in, and only an antagonist this fearsome could truly go up against Timothee Chalamet's equally masterful performance as Paul Atreides. I do also want to give shoutouts to Zendaya and Javier Bardem, who get much more screen time this time around as Chani and Stilgar respectively. I don't want to spoil anything, but I will say that they both represent very different perspectives and belief systems among the Fremen, and I think they do fantastic jobs at portraying this dichotomy. Literally everyone is great here though. I just can't take the time out of this review to give praise to each and every star in this film. Finally, I gotta talk about the technical aspects of Dune Part 2. In my opinion, this was the reason to watch the first one. The sights and sounds of Arrakis are incredible, especially witnessed in IMAX, and Hans Zimmer's score remains one of the most memorable scores of the past decade or so. Well, in Part 2, that all remains true, except now we're doing things on an even bigger scale. There's more, bigger action here, and that's all captured in a way that truly makes your heart race. We get more scenes with the mighty Shai-Hulud or sandworms, and the CGI used to create them is nothing short of jaw-dropping. And we even get a massive, stunning arena sequence in black and white involving Feyd Rautha on Gedi Prime. It feels like half the shots in the film could be hung on your wall as art, and Hans Zimmer once again delivers with a score that truly heightens the scale and scope of the events that unfold on screen. Denis Villeneuve's ability to not only visualize and craft this world from the bottom up is incredible, but to bring everything together into a cohesive, larger-than-life, nearly 3-hour-long sci-fi epic at this scale feels damn near impossible. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes down as the most impressive achievement in his already phenomenal career. Dune Part 2 is a masterpiece no matter how you slice it. While the first film is essential in understanding and appreciating this one, it honestly feels like an appetizer to Part 2's main course. Everything is bigger and more fleshed out here in every way imaginable, and Villeneuve's masterful direction is able to keep a grip on the ever-increasing scale of it all. I couldn't even tell you the last time we got a sci-fi movie as good and as monumental as this one. I honestly have nothing but praise for this movie, and I'm going to be giving Dune Part 2 a 10 out of 10. If you enjoyed the review, then feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. And if you've seen Dune Part 2 already, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. I've been Nathan Orenstein with The No Show. Thanks for watching.